What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit of video from this last weekend. I went to the Annihilation No Prep by Straight Jacket Street Cars, and a good friend ended up winning the small tire class. George, with his 240. It's got a Billet 2JZ in it and a Precision 98mm. And a good friend was actually tuning that car as well, Chris Delgado. He's actually the one that got me started tuning, so I wanted to tell you guys that story. I figured you guys might like that. So anyways, first I will show you guys the clips of the race, and then we'll get started talking about how he got me into all this. Oh, that car's on fire. He's on fire. Fire! Get out the way, get off to the side. Oh yeah?
It didn't leave on boost, so it was like, yeah.
Alright guys, so just got done editing that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I was definitely really happy about it, as you can see there in the end. All yelling and jumping around and completely forgetting to film what I'm supposed to be filming. But I was super happy for George. He's a really cool guy, and he's definitely earned it. And Chris as well. So anyways, now we will get into the story of how Chris actually got me started tuning. And he's pretty much the biggest reason that I am where I am now. And he's helped me out a lot, so I'm super thankful for him. But anyways, ever since I got started messing with cars, I've always kind of been interested in the tuning side of things, but I've also always kind of thought that you have to be some super genius in order to do that. And a lot of the reason for that is because a lot of tuners make it seem like that, and a lot of tuners have been doing it for, 20 plus years or something like that, and like to kind of talk down on other tuners and just make it seem like they are the smartest people ever, and that nobody else can do what they do, and that every other tuner sucks and they're the best one. That's pretty common with a lot of tuners, and a lot of times the tuners that are like that are the ones that you need to stay away from. But basically I had some issues with the car, and I wanted to take it to the best person that I could find that was at least somewhat close. And from what I had researched, it seemed like Chris Delgado was that guy, and I definitely still think that today. So I took the car down to Houston and had Prospeed Autosports do some work for me, and then they ended up tuning it. And I happened to be there when Chris was tuning it one of the times, and he let me sit in the car with him while I was on the dyno, which a lot of tuners are kind of picky about that and just want to be left alone, and they don't feel like answering all your questions, which I don't blame them. I've gotten that way too. Sometimes it gets a little bit annoying, but he was super cool about it and let me sit there and ask questions. I tried to be as respectful as possible and not ask too many questions and bug him, but it was really cool. He taught me a bunch of things and let me see what he was doing and kind of explain things whenever I asked him, and just let me watch pretty much the whole process while he tuned the car. And I still didn't think that I could do it necessarily, just because of how fast he was doing everything and how good he was at it, because he's been doing this for a really long time and knows all the systems well and knows exactly what to do quickly. So it's still a little bit overwhelming, but I at least had a little bit better of an understanding of it. And then later on, I ended up having the car back in New Mexico, and it needed some fuel changes for the altitude. And I sent him a log and was going to have him remote in, and he said, if you want to, you can make the changes. And he told me, in between this RPM and this boost or whatever, pretty much exactly where on the map, and to just pull 5% and then, make another log and see what it looks like. And I ended up doing it, and ended up being just fine. It didn't blow up, which was it's kind of nerve-wracking, but anyways, I couldn't really learn on that one just because it was already fully tuned. I just made a small change, but that kind of still pushed me to want to learn more. And later on, I ended up tuning my dad's Jeep. Actually, it was a supercharged SRT8 Jeep, and it was having some issues. We got the cats cut out of it, and it just wasn't running right anymore. So I went ahead and talked to Chris, and he helped me learn pretty much exactly what I needed to do. I had already at that point been learning, doing as much research as I could online, but I had mostly just been researching GM stuff, because I knew the GM stock ECU stuff was pretty much the easiest stuff to do, or at least at that time I thought it would be. So the Dodge was quite a bit different, but he helped me learn exactly what I needed to do and told me the different ways that I could do it and how he normally does it, and pretty much exactly what to do and how to do it. So he helped me get that figured out, and I ended up tuning the Jeep, and it ended up going quite a bit quicker than it had before. I believe it dropped like 3/10 in the quarter mile. It went like 12 to like 110 miles per hour. Big 5,500 pound brick on like 4 or 5 pounds of boost and pretty high altitude. So that was pretty cool. Then after that, I started building my Fox body, because I'm the type of person that I'd rather learn on my own stuff, because I don't want to be using a customer's car in order to teach myself with. I'd rather know what I'm doing whenever I'm working on somebody else's. So I went ahead and started building my Fox body, and that was pretty much my test bed, and I pretty much completely learned the rest of the way, at least, how to tune with that car, and just about everything I know now is come from that car. So I started with a stock ECU, and I ran that for a while, and then I ended up swapping over to the Holly, and I've talked about some of this in my older videos as well. But I ended up swapping over to the Holly because I reached a 3-bar limit on the stock ECU, and I pretty much figured out that the Holly was much easier than the stock ECU, and I like that stuff a lot more, and I like just sticking to the race car stuff. So that's pretty much what I do now mostly. But anyways, the whole time, anytime I had a question that I couldn't find the answer to online, I would ask Chris, and he would get back to me quickly with detailed answers and help me out as much as he could, expecting just pretty much nothing in return. And he helped me out a lot, and he also helped me kind of learn the whole keeping the torque down thing. And that torque is related to cylinder pressure, and if you keep the torque down, you can make more power and go faster without hurting the engine. He had actually been doing that stuff a long time ago on Hondas, because they would get to like say 300 foot-pounds or something like that and start bending rods and all that. So since they rev to 9,000 RPM or something like that, he would just hold it about 300 foot-pounds all the way out to 9,000 RPM, and they'd be making a bunch of power and be reliable and work well. So I kind of applied that to the stock bottom end stuff, because it's pretty much the same thing. Just keep the torque down and make the power up top. That's part of why I spin my stuff so high. But anyways, he helped me learn that. He helped me learn just about everything, and anytime I have questions, he's happy to answer, and I try not to bug him too much. But I did sit there this weekend and talk with him for probably 3 or 4 hours, just asking all kinds of questions, and he was happy to answer and show me anything that I wanted to know or tell me anything that I wanted to know. He's also helped out with a lot of chassis tuning stuff as well. That's kind of what he's been focusing on the last 5 years or so. But anyways, he's helped out a lot with my car, Brennan's car, you know, all kinds of stuff. So super thankful for him, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that little quick story on how he helped me get started tuning. But if you guys are in Houston and you need a tuner, he's probably one of the best ones around, so I highly recommend him. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. We're probably going to be going to Oklahoma City with Brennan's car, putting it on radios finally, and turning it up. So we're also going to be posting times on that next video, so look forward to that. That should be a good time, and we'll see you guys there.